Now, if there's one thing governments are good at, it's spending our money for the smallest bang for buck possible. It happens in every single facet of government, but one of the most concerning areas of waste is in health. Almost every week we hear stories of ambulance ramping, overrun emergency departments, massive wait times for quote-unquote elective surgery and the like, and yet we, the taxpayers, keep pumping more and more money into a system that just doesn't seem to work. Well, here's another example. BreastScreen Australia is a federal government outfit that gives $320 million to the state governments every year to provide free mammograms for women over 40. The various state organisations then send out letters to women offering them this free mammogram, but for this $320 million, according to the latest figures, only 55% of women in the age group most at risk of breast cancer have taken up this free mammogram, which leaves millions of women at potential risk. Now, every woman goes to the doctor, and at some point, many would have a regular GP who they trust and have a relationship with. And a random letter in the mail is clearly not convincing women to get screened for breast cancer. So why not use that relationship between doctors and their female patients to drive that screening rate up above 90%, where it should be? Well, that's exactly what Dr Rod Pearce wants to do. He's a former president of the AMA, was a member of ATAGI and has advised health ministers. He's now chairman of the Immunisation Coalition and has formed the BreastScreen Initiative in an effort to fix this mess. Dr Pearce joins me now from Adelaide. Welcome to the show, mate.
Yeah, g'day. How are you going?
Very well. Now, tell us in a nutshell, I mean, we've never got above 60% screening for women in the sort of 50 and above age bracket, which is the group of women who are most at risk of breast cancer. What is your proposal to get that rate up to 90%?
Our proposal is to give women a say and a choice, and we want a program that actually works for women in Australia. As you said, the over 300 million that's spent around Australia gets a 60% return, and none of us are really happy with that as a significant rate. So we want to add general practice to the mix so that general practice can actually see and recommend and support women getting their screening. And we estimate that within 3, possibly up to 5 years, we will get screening rates closer to 90%, which will be good bang for your buck and avoid a lot of suffering.
Well, it just seems staggering that for $320 million right now, we're getting about 55% uptake on breast screening every year. I mean, there must be loads of women who are, having cancer picked up much later. And I would have thought that COVID, given people, it was difficult for people to see their doctors and go to the hospital and the like, you'd be seeing that even worse now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and we've spoken to oncologists in New South Wales who are telling us of cases that are horrible, awful cases that have come about because of the delay in diagnosis. So COVID is delaying the diagnosis. We need a surge capacity to be able to catch up on all those people that haven't been able to have their vaccines because of COVID lockdown. And this initiative will actually provide a solution that will give us the capacity to catch up. But why not introduce a program that actually catches up and then leads to an increase rather than hitting this 60% ceiling that this program seems to have hit and have been sticking at for almost 30 years now, and they can't push above it. So we're saying involve the GP, change some of the parameters, and you'll get all of the women, or closer to 90% of Australian women, with a screening program that actually works for them, gives them some choices, and makes it a system that they'll actually enjoy rather than feel threatened by it and not even rolling up.
Now, we've only got a minute, Rod, but this has been done previously with vaccinations, hasn't it, through doctors to drive up the take-up rate?
Yeah, when GPs got involved in the immunisation program, we started with some of the worst figures in the world, 55% immunisation rate. In 3 years, by adding GPs to a public program, we've ended up with a 90% immunisation rate. And Australia leads the world. We've got that combined private-public partnership that's actually going to nail it. So the BreastScreen Initiative has been looking at cases that are actually worse now because of COVID. We want to get something that gives us a catch-up surge. And once we've done that, we then want to nail a program with 90% screening rates And if anyone has got problems or they're concerned about it, we'd like to hear their stories on Twitter, where they can look at the BreastScreen Initiative, so we can actually look at those situations and talk about actually making a difference where 1.8 to 2 million extra women in Australia will get the advantage of a screening program that works for them.
Well, let's hope something is done. They say that the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, and we should get more for $320 million, that's for sure. Dr. Rod Pearce, thank you for joining me on the show tonight.
Thank you.